So if His Royal Highness can turn his camera on, please, and unmute himself.
There we go.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to hand over now to James Robinson, the chairman of the steering group of Surrey Heath Prepared. Mr. Chairman.
Your Royal Highness, Madam Mayor, members of the steering group, coordinators, volunteers, and all watching across the borough on live stream. A very special welcome to this final meeting of Surrey Heath Prepared. Today marks 108 days since this local community response was first established, some 10 days before the national lockdown. And so began a journey that none of us really quite knew what was in store for us. But we all had one single focus: to support those in need across the borough. We put aside worries for our own safety, our other responsibilities, and our own tribal connections to come together as one. As we close today, the statistics pay testament to the incredible devotion of you all. Some 12,000 requests for help, 3,400 food parcels, 2,900 volunteers, and 3,500 separate people benefiting from our support. We are extremely fortunate to have a number of distinguished speakers tonight, and I will introduce each of them in turn shortly. And following that, we'll ask each of the area coordinators to provide a few words of personal reflection on their journey before I say a few concluding comments. And we'll finish with an online party with live music up to 8 o'clock. So we wanted this evening to be special, to mark such a unique project. And we are immensely honoured to have the Earl of Wessex joining us to recognise the contribution of Surrey Heath Prepared. You will all know how tirelessly the Earl and the Countess have been supporting many charities during this COVID pandemic. So we are most grateful that you have taken the time to join us this evening. And you are, of course, one of our own, living here in Bagshot Park. Your Royal Highness, a heartfelt welcome from all members of Surrey Heath Prepared, and we very much look forward to hearing what you have to say.
Well, James, that's very kind. And good evening, everybody. Delighted to be able to join you this evening. Thank you for the invitation. I'm just delighted to be able to join you, albeit on the last hurrah. So here you are after, I think, was it 108 days you've been hard at work out in the community there. So that's quite an amazing achievement and a brilliant example of voluntary help and support. So it's really just a chance to say a huge thank you to each and every one of you for all that you've done over this period. You are the ones that stepped up at a time of a crisis and just showed what we can do in our communities when we pull together and we look after everybody that there. It doesn't matter who they are. And so you've been a fantastic demonstration of all of that, and you should be justly proud. I know much of what you've done has happened below the radar. It has been largely unsung, but that's not the important bit. It's the fact that you've gone out there and done it, which is the really important bit. And when we look back on these events, it will be groups like Surrey Heath Prepared that will be remembered. It'll be you stepped up at this time and you made a difference to so many people. So thank you so much. And I really do wish you the very best of luck in the future. Some of you may be wondering what on earth you're going to do and how you're going to fill the time. And I hope there may be other opportunities that will come along. But for this particular effort, just a huge congratulations and a massive thank you and really well done. Enjoy the party.
So if I may respond on behalf of all of the Surrey Heath Prepared team and say a very big thank you for your kind words this evening. It's been an honour to have you with us, and we very much appreciate your recognition of this local community response. I know that you'll leave the webinar now, but may we also thank you and the Countess for all that you do to support Surrey Heath.
Well, that's very kind of you to say so. Anyway, as I said, enjoy the party and thank you.
Thank
Oh, look, somebody's starting already. Very good.
Thank you very much indeed.
Oh, you've all got your drinks ready. Very good. Excellent. Cheerio. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So our next guest speaker is Mayor Pat Tedder, who recently took over the Surrey Heath Mayor appointment. Madam Mayor, thank you for joining us this evening, and we very much look forward to hearing what you have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Volunteers, councillors. There is no doubt that when the COVID-19 struck and the government ordered the lockdown, our normal lives were turned upside down. No one had ever experienced what we had been through over the last few months. There has been no rule book or no template to follow. The lockdown has affected everyone in different ways. Some have been unable to go out as they've been shielding or self-isolating. Others felt lonely, isolated, and many were anxious about the future. But despite the bleak outlook, in March, the Borough of Surrey Heath responded in a positive manner, and an army of volunteers from all backgrounds came forward quickly to help the community. Surrey Heath Borough Council created a steering group which turned to existing support groups within the borough as they were the most likely to know who would need help. New groups were formed in some areas. All of these had carefully coordinated. Then came the volunteers in their hundreds. These volunteers undertook hundreds, and I've just heard thousands of shopping trips, collected and delivered prescriptions, made thousands of befriending calls to the isolated and the lonely, offering reassurance and assistance to those in need. Many food parcels were prepared and delivered. Safe accommodation was found for the homeless. Businesses demonstrated their community spirit by donating both time and resources. It has been very uplifting to be able to witness the imagination and generosity of our communities when finding ways to help each other. One young lady, aged 10, raised £800 by painting rocks and making pots and selling cakes at the end of the drive. Another enterprising young man made face masks. I am sure we have all heard of people, young and old, in our wards who did something special to help a friend, a neighbour, or by raising funds for worthy causes. These are our volunteers of the future, the young people. We must nurture them and encourage them for future help. We must also remember the middle bracket, because most of the volunteers these days tend to be in the more elderly bracket, and encourage them to come forward as well. But they didn't hesitate this time. They were there. They were there. They were helping. When the cry went out for PPE, it was quickly answered, and a sewing bee was set up and hundreds of pieces of PPE being delivered to our local hospitals. There has been so many extra acts of kindness, generosity shown by our councillors to residents in their wards. It is humbling to be able to see the willingness of individuals and businesses volunteering and helping their community. Without the volunteers, we couldn't have done it. Together, we looked after our neighbours, brought our communities together, and strengthened our borough. I am hopeful, therefore, that the experience of COVID-19 has shown us all how valuable and positive a contribution to our community can be to all. As Mayor, I am very proud of the way Surrey Heath has responded and appreciating what an amazing community we live in. So thank you all. No matter what part you played, each and every action mattered and made a real difference. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, thank you for your kind words. One of the key reasons for the success of Surrey Heath Prepared has been the excellent support and cooperation with Surrey Heath Borough Council. And so may I ask you to pass on to them our thanks and best wishes, please. So also extremely fortunate to have with us Michael Gove, our local Member of Parliament for Surrey Heath and Member of the Cabinet Office. And as you'd expect, he's kept a close eye on what's been happening in Surrey Heath and in Surrey Heath Prepared in particular. So having been at the centre of the government's response to the COVID pandemic, he's got a unique view of what we've achieved. And so, Mr. Gove, a warm welcome to you and thank you in your busy schedule for joining us this evening.
James, thank you very much. And can I just say a special word of thanks to all the coordinators and volunteers who've done so much to make Surrey Heath Prepared such a success. I'm here in the House of Commons. You can probably see the London Eye just behind me. We're voting at the moment. So that's one of the reasons why I wasn't able to join you earlier and to hear the thanks from His Royal Highness. But can I just underline my appreciation and my gratitude for everything that you've done? As you say, one of my jobs in government was to help coordinate the response to the COVID crisis, not the health response, but the civil society response. And I was able to point to Surrey Heath Prepared as setting the gold standard when it came to ensuring that there was an appropriate response, identifying those who needed help, making sure that there was a volunteer network that was incredibly well organised, highly motivated and effective, and also harnessing the support of people from broader society, from our churches, from local businesses who did so much, web designers, suppliers of food, and so on. And the fact that all of you have given so much of your time, your energy, and your commitment to making sure that local communities could be supported is exemplary. It's the very, very best of volunteering, very best of Surrey Heath. And I just wanted to say thank you to you all. I know that people have come from very, very different backgrounds. New friendships have been forged as a result of this. And I hope that the lessons that have been learned across the community from the amazing effort that's been devoted by the Surrey Heath Prepared team are ones that we can carry forward in the future and make sure that we can respond to whatever occurs in the future with the same degree of purpose, organisation, friendship, commitment and generosity of spirit. So I just want to say thank you very much to everyone. You've all done an amazing job. Thank you.
Mr. Gove, thank you very much indeed for joining us this evening and for squeezing out of the voting chamber for us too.
Thank you, James. Thank you.
Andrew Keane, over to you for Deepcut Mytchett.
How do I follow that? I was going to sing, but I don't think that's really appropriate. Yes, well done, Victoria, to add that. That was great. Mytchett and Deepcut, I volunteered just like everybody else. I started off as somebody who filled in the form online, and before I knew it, I'd been contacted by Paul and asked if I could help coordinate using some of the skills I use in my job day to day. And threw myself into it, and I really didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how much time and effort it would take, but willing to give it a shot and help the local community. We also don't really know that many people in the area, so I thought this is a great opportunity to get to meet and some new people. Soon quickly joined and worked with Kay Atwood, who has worked as a Trojan warrior in our region, running and sorting out many, many things behind the scenes. Unfortunately, Kay can't join us tonight because she's working, but I know she's going to watch this on record. So thank you very much, Kay, for everything you've done for this community. Lindsay Hampton came on board a little bit later as well, and she's been helping us as well with the requests and supporting the community. And I think we probably had 5 or 6 superstar volunteers that the moment we put a request on Facebook, they were there. Sometimes within 5 seconds, and sometimes other volunteers getting a little bit grumpy, they weren't getting a look in. But the spirit was amazing. People joined in, people helped. They would pick up a prescription within 15 or 20 minutes from the chemist. I could never have dreamed that we would live in a community that would help others so much. So my experience has been great. I would do it again tomorrow if I needed to, and I know all the volunteers I've spoken to would also. But also thank you to everyone in this group. It's been a great support group, just hearing how others are doing it, and to the committee for giving us that guidance. So thank you very much, and good luck to everyone, and I hope we do meet each other one day.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Thank you. So Jacques.
Okay, hello everyone. Frimley Green, what to say? I don't know what to say really. Been a fantastic journey. 3 months ago when I step up to help Frimley Green, I won't even imagine a fantastic job it will be. I met some fantastic residents in Frimley Green, from a young family with some babies to some lady, 98, 104 years old, all lovely people. We started with a team from scratch, and in less than 2 weeks, we got 163 volunteers. Such a family, such a great community spirit. And the help, I believe, and I think it was important as well for me, work in both ways. Residents give you so much happiness, so much love, was very fantastic. So I wish to say a big thank you to all volunteers in Frimley Green who watch right now, and a big thank you to Surrey Heath Prepare for everything. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jacques. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Colin.
You can indeed. I'd like to start by thanking His Royal Highness Michael and our new excellent worshipful mayor for their kind words at the start of the evening. And I'd also like to recognise and thank Paul and Atia, who are on the panel today, but also Stuart Black, for this inspired, swift and timely idea to form Surrey Heath Prepared. Also thanks, like everyone else, to you, Mike, and the people in the hub, to James and the rest of the steering group. Your combined efforts have made it remarkably easy for wards like St Michael's to operate with virtually zero setup effort and then run a smooth, seamless, ongoing operation.
Like the rest of you, I was indeed humbled by listening to those reflections. And I think we can take away how much the community has come together, how much we've put aside differences for a greater good, and how much we have selflessly supported others before ourselves. I'd just touch on a couple of areas before we finish, and one many of you have mentioned has absolutely been central to what we've been doing, and that's volunteering. Not only does it help others, but as you've no doubt found, the act of service also brings many benefits to the volunteer. It provides a sense of purpose, connections to other people. It enhances the community spirit, and it provides personal fulfillment. So with that in mind, what does Surrey Heath Prepared leave behind? Well, I think, and we know that it leaves a huge amount of grateful people across the borough who would otherwise have struggled over the last 3.5 months. But we also now have more community action groups supporting their immediate communities on an enduring basis. And we have an increasingly community-orientated borough, where I hope the passion for volunteering will continue. Surrey Heath is undoubtedly a very special place to be. Some of you may be feeling a bit like me today, a sense of relief that the stress of this is ending. No more WhatsApp messages, no more Zoom meetings, pharmacy runs, hours at the call centre, food deliveries, and all that comes with Surrey Heath Prepared. But there is also a sense of sadness that Surrey Heath Prepared is coming to an end, that we will no longer be part of something special with its camaraderie and shared success. But life goes on and thankfully is slowly returning to normal. So it just remains to say a big thank you to you all. I particularly wish to thank the fellow members of my steering group who have done a huge amount behind the scenes. So on behalf of them, we send to everybody involved in Surrey Heath Prepared our sincere gratitude for everything you've done and our best wishes for the future. So that concludes the formal parts of tonight. The next bit is the online party, and I do hope you'll stay online and celebrate with us.